Just 2 weeks remain of the 2025 NFL season, and whether you've been bounced from the playoffs or you're still fighting for a title, there are always Dynasty fantasy football storylines to follow. That's right, we give you our top 10 burning questions for the rest of the way. All this and more is a brand new edition of the IBT podcast, coming right at you.
I've been going dummy, out of bounds, putting on a clinic. Stick around, carrots in my hardware. KC, caught him in the crosshair. Look at me, been the guy calling Mr. MVP. Keep your ass on the bench by my MPC. Earn my stripes like I fix this league. Your dog's on the turf, my dog's in the street. You can find me somewhere in between. Never a dull moment like a movie scene. About to do the ops like I did this beat. Let them keep talking RG3. Coming to you live. This is the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast.
All right, and welcome into the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast, your place for both a refreshing and feel-good take on fantasy football and NFL gambling. Championships are officially on the line for some, but the dynasty landscape remains still for nobody. We'll get you up to speed with what you need to keep track of with our top 10 burning questions for week 17 and 18. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, and I was bounced late from my final remaining league. Brock Purdy, the 49ers defense, just absolutely took it to me, took me out to the woodshed, and that means I'll head into the weekend with nothing on the line for maybe the first time in what's got to be over a decade. Steve Lawson, Eric Romoff, Kyle Scott, they're all already cashing in on their PTO, so I'm once again joined by our version of the holiday cheermeister. He's a jack of all, master of none. He's hot take Jake Perry. Jake, how are you tonight? And thanks for being here on another holiday episode.
Yeah, man, doing good. Happy to be here. I had like 7 championships, like 7 semifinal matchups. I'm down to 3. So we're still doing good. Yeah. One of them's a best ball where I have to get outscored by, I think it's like 62 points in the final week to not win it all. So that should be one in the bag, but it was so tough, like watching all the matchups and like having guys like Puka Nacua, having guys like Chase Brown going off, and then just watching, like, I don't know if I had a quarterback make it through this week healthy. Like, I just don't know.
Yep. I mean, between Gardner Minshew, J.J. McCarthy, everyone else, Lamar Jackson out there. I mean, Jordan Love. There are some very hurt managers at the quarterback position. Even if you played a quarterback who was healthy, there was Jackson Dart, who didn't even score a point. You had Josh Allen with an all-time low performance. It was tough out there in the streets, man. Not to mention you had guys like Travion Henderson leaving the game early. So it was a really, really tough week for, I think, a lot of fantasy managers, you and I both, man. And what's worse? What's scarier? Looking down the pipeline to what you have going on here in week 17 in your championships, or the Christmas present wrapping you still have to do?
Christmas present wrapping by far, easily. Luckily, my wife loves it, so yeah, she definitely takes a good chunk of it. But I mean, I still help out. I'm not going to let her do everything.
Sure,
I gotta play a part in it.
Well, you are a better man than me, my friend, because Katie, my wonderful fiance, she now does 99.99% of the wrapping. The only wrapping I have to do is her Christmas and birthday presents, because her birthday is on Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, Jake. And do you have any presents I have wrapped?
Probably 0 if I had to guess.
Yes, it is 0. So, yeah, it's going to be a long night tonight. We're already going off close to the 10 Eastern time window. So, yeah, it's going to be a gainer. Going to have to do a couple shots of energy drinks, I think. I think that's what we'll have to roll with here.
Ain't no shame in the energy drink game. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not even an energy drink person, but I think tonight that's maybe the might be the path we're going. Either that or a can of Zins. We'll see which one goes further.
The Zins will help you probably more. The caffeine will be great. I'm a huge energy drink guy. I've gone like a month and a half without an energy drink, like trying to cleanse myself out through the end of 2025. The energy drink will be great until you're like done, and then you want to go to bed and you remember that you still have like 200 milligrams of caffeine in your system for the next 4 hours.
That's a good call.
Like, the Zins, though, they'll help you out.
Yep, and then they put you right to sleep, right? I mean, I've fallen asleep with one in the mouth before. I'm sure we all have. Like, it happens, right?
Happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Absolutely. And before we get into the show, shout out to everyone who is making us a part of their holiday week, either on the In Between Mia YouTube channel or the audio feed. Thank you so much for all the support this season, especially during the busy holiday time. We really, really appreciate it. Please do us a quick favor. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this type of content. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're new as well. We have fantasy football and NFL betting advice coming to you weekly all throughout the season and off season. We got Albert checking in. Good evening, IBT. Good evening to you, Albert, as well. Thanks so much for making time for us on your holiday weekend. We appreciate that. And Ben, happy holidays. Nothing like celebrating Christmas with watching Johnson, Brosmer, and yes, our guy Ola Kudin as well. Ola
Aladakun.
Yeah, I learned that earlier, and he was drafted by the Steelers, so I should know that. But that's where we are. That is where we are. Yeah. So
the funniest meme that I saw was somebody posted on Twitter, and it was like Netflix furiously Googling who Chris Oladokun is.
Is it Oladukin? Because I was calling him Oladukin earlier, so I don't even
I'm going
know.
with Oladokun.
Okay. It sounds cooler. It sounds like a Star Wars name.
I'm saying that now, and that may be just because I've always assumed that Foyesade Oluokun is pronounced that way, which I don't think that's technically correct. But this is very much like a Bert Kreischer, Michael Rappaport situation where he's like, no, you can't tell me how your name's pronounced.
Right.
Pronounce it how I do. But yeah, Chris O. We're just going to call him Chris O.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully we don't need to talk about him much further than these next 2 weeks. But again, we'll break down our top 5 storylines, our top 5 burning questions heading into week 17 and 18. But first, a real quick reminder that on the community side of things over here at IBT, we are still heating up in the IBT football family. It's now free to join. Just go to in-betweenmedia.com/chat or click the link in the episode description. You're going to then get access to all of our analysts. You can ask your start-sit questions, any NFL betting related or college football betting related questions you have. You're also going to be entered into our memorabilia giveaways for no cost. And if you want to get access to our full betting cards, our touchdown call contest, you can upgrade today for $3.99 per month or $36 for the year. That's also going to include unlocking all the benefits for the NASCAR family. We just finished up a great first season over there, 63 units in the green for us. And then also on the PGA and entertainment family, that's going to be launching in the new year. So a lot of fun stuff happening right there in-betweenmedia.com/chat for free, or you can upgrade as well. Get all those benefits. We want to hear from you over there in the Discord. And also a free bonus contest we have going right now as well. This is going to be starting in the NFL playoffs, folks. We are hosting a PropDecks contest where you can build a player prop based fantasy football lineup from wildcard weekend all the way through the Super Bowl. The winner is going to be taking home a $200 Fanatics gift card. Second place, you get an autographed Zach Evans Ole Miss Rebels jersey. And third place, you're going to score an entry in our 2026 edition of Draft Night Out. That's our live fantasy football draft party in Canton, Ohio at the Fantasy Football Expo in July. Limited spots are available, so go ahead and join now for free by going to in-betweenmedia.com/chat, join the Discord, and then go to the NFL Playoffs PropDecks Contest channel. Huge thank you to our partner PropDecks for helping us out. They've been so much fun to play with all season long. I'm very excited for them to make the NFL playoffs great once again, so appreciate them. And Jake, looking forward to seeing what you can do in that contest as well this NFL playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. My PropDecks performances have fallen off a cliff the last couple of weeks, but I'm giving myself a little reset period here, aligning the chakras, getting everything in the right places, going to my chiropractor, getting ready for the playoffs. It should be a blast.
And Jake, since it is the holiday season and we're all about giving, but there's also a catch, we're going to answer this question from Tyler Perry right at the top of the show. Not even get into a segment yet, because that's what we're about here at IBT, spreading that holiday magic. And if you can do us a quick favor, Tyler, and go join that PropDecks tournament, go to in-betweenmedia.com/chat, join the Discord for free. We can help you with all your fantasy football questions the rest of the way, and you can get invested with that great tournament we have going on right now as a trade for this answer, Luther Burden or Devonta Smith. I don't think this needs a ton of analysis, Jake, to be honest with you. I don't think there's a world where I can sit Devonta Smith for Luther Burden III, especially after he's been banged up the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's really what it boils down to me. Like if Burden was healthy, depending on if Adunze is going to play or not, like Burden's got a very bright future in this offense, and he's got a very bright future with the Bears and Caleb and Ben Johnson. But it's Devonta Smith pretty comfortably for me right now. Burden, we haven't even really seen much of the practice reports yet. I think he practiced in a limited fashion, so not even sure he's going to be full go. But I'm imagining it's mostly the DJ Moore show for most of the rest of the regular season.
And I'm expecting points in that Eagles-Bills game, right? I think that's not an offense that the Eagles can play against and just say, hey, we're going to run it. We're going to, tush-push our way to victory. They're going to have to air it out a little bit, I think, to keep up with Buffalo. So, yeah, I definitely like Devonta Smith in that one. Thank you again, though, for the question, Tyler. Hope you're having a great Tuesday night. And I hope you head over there to the Discord for any more questions you have. And as well, get invested with that PropDecks tournament. Again, you're going to get a first-place prize of $200 to Fanatics, a second-place prize of the Zach Evans Ole Miss signed jersey, and third place draft night out ticket. So a lot of stuff happening over there. Jake, what do you say we go ahead and jump right in?
Let's do it.
All right, front and center coming at you.
Sometimes taking that first step out the door is the hardest thing to do. Give it a chance, you'll be begging for more. Save the spot just for you. We're all somewhere in between.
How about you come to the place we can have some fun? Ain't gotta worry about knowing not what it means. Come and give me another, cause the night is young. At least I so thought.
This just in. Breaking news. Front and center.
All right, it's front and center. It's our burning Dynasty fantasy football questions for the rest of the season that we want answers to now. And Jake, I'm going to let you start this off, man. This is a very intriguing time in the Dynasty landscape where, hey, a lot of people who are out of their leagues, they're kind of resting on their laurels, right? But I think the sharp managers really have to be in tune with what's happening down the stretch in week 17 and 18. So what do you have for us at number 10?
Yeah, I want to know how much of a guy is Kyle Monangai. He's definitely come on the scene, a 7th round draft pick. People weren't expecting much out of him, but he's definitely carved himself into a very big role in this Bears offense, pretty much dominating the red zone touches as of late and the goal line touches especially. But with DeAndre Swift there, where does Kyle Monangai sit overall? I mean, you look at his season-long performance, it's not great. That is, definitely bogged down by not scoring 5 points or more than 5.5 points until week 7, where he broke out with 17. But I mean, his snap shares remain pretty consistent. He's ran routes at a pretty consistent rate, not getting a ton of targets, but has shown that sometimes, he's got a 37-yard reception, a 57-yard reception, a 39-yard reception. Like there's yardage to be had with him in the receiving game. It's just how much do we trust Kyle Monangai to take over from DeAndre Swift in the future?
I think that's a great point. And the thing I want to point out about the Bears in general is right now, team runs plays per game, Bears are number 2. They are one of the heavier run scripted offenses that we are seeing right now out there in the NFL. So I think that I want to be a part of that with Kyle Monangai, especially this is a guy that's also averaging over 5.2 yards per touch. So he's been efficient. I don't think that is like a top 10, top 15 guy out there in the fantasy streets. However, I do think he can provide serviceable numbers in a Ben Johnson offense. And DeAndre Swift, we know that after 2026, he could be on the move as well. So I am open to Kyle Monangai. What do you think the realistic ceiling is, though? Do you agree with me that I think he will forever be in that Dave Montgomery RB2 type of role?
Yeah, and that's basically what I was about to say. Right now, I'm kind of valuing him as great value, David Montgomery. That's it. Again, their play sets, play style, I should say, is very similar to both. Much more of the north-south runner, full head of steam kind of guys. I think David Montgomery is a better pass catcher. I think he's more likely to, be a true workhorse if Jahmyr Gibbs were to go down versus Monangai if Swift goes down. But all of that being said, we've seen that type of runner perform in low RB1 scenarios before. So is that ceiling probably based off of current market? Am I in on Monangai? Probably.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. And the thing I like about him the rest of the way that we need to be keen on is It's the 49ers this week, right? We have a lot of injuries to the wide receivers, so I would expect the Bears to maybe try to slow this game down a little bit because they don't want to get in an arms race with the 49ers who have been coming off just some heater offensive performances. Like they got CMC. If Kittle's out there, he's going to be tearing it up too. And like Jawan Jennings isn't, the wide receiver one everybody wants, but he's been serviceable too. So like, I feel like really between that matchup and then the Lions, who, like I've been saying it, the Lions on paper don't look like a good matchup for running backs, but they've quietly been pretty good for opposing running backs over the past month. The Steelers just lit them up, both Kenny Gainwell and Jaylen Warren going for over 20 points each. So I'm with you there. For my next question here, I want to go ahead and ask the question, is Tyler Shough a franchise guy for the Saints? Because since Shough took over, Jake, over all the way back in week 9, he's the quarterback 13. That includes a bye week in there as well. He's averaging 16.3 fantasy points per game in that span. I have him as a borderline QB1 this week against the Titans. He is a very respectable 66.5 completion percentage as well, the 14th best in the NFL, and he's doing it the best I feel like he can as far as what he's working with. Like it's Chris Olave, it's Jawan Johnson, Taysom Hill, not even Alvin Kamara, right? Like it's not a full allotment of pass catchers. We had Shaheed shipped out as well. I think what he needs to improve on is the TD interception ratio, right? Like high interception percentage. The touchdown rate is very low as well. But I think if he can continue to push the ball downfield like he is, 13th in air yards, and also continue to be good in the red zone like he is with a 77.5 completion percentage between the 20-yard line, I think he has another shot at this. I really do. He's 4-3 as a starter, 3-1 in the division. He's beat the Bucs once as an underdog. He also beat the NFC South leading Panthers twice as a dog. So I think if he can finish strong against the Titans and Falcons, and given that this draft class just doesn't look as good as it did when we had Lenore Sellers in it, when we had Drew Aller, thought he would take a step forward. Cade Klubnik's taking a step back. Garrett Nussmeier was hurt the second half of the season and didn't look good. Like right now, we'll talk about who we know as the QB1, but outside of him, it's a bunch of question marks, guys who have played for 1 year in college at a high level. So I think that there's a good chance Shough might be the steal of Dynasty rookie drafts from 2025, my friend.
Yeah, I agree. Shough was a guy that I took a lot late. Just, again, projected him to beat out Spencer Rattler. Obviously that didn't happen, but it eventually did happen. We eventually got Tyler Shough. And I think the best case scenario for him is he's going to get 26 to prove himself. He's going to get the opportunity. We're already expecting the 27 quarterback class to be a lot stronger than the 26 classes, just with what we know. And especially with some of the rumored players that are going back, like Mensa from Duke. There's, rumors. Dante Moore may not declare. He may wait until 27 as well. So, this class is weak enough. The Saints have performed well enough that they're not going to be, a top 3 pick in this class. So they've got an opportunity to let Shough just see what he can do. See if they can build, add a pass catcher or two around him, trying to, build this team up. I agree with you. There's certainly things that he needs to get better at. He doesn't progress through his reads a ton.
It is a ton of first read. Like I think like I looked at his first read target percentage. Like it is off the charts.
It's like 66.2%.
What is that? Like number 3 or 4 in the NFL? It's
number 2.
Okay. I knew it was high. Yeah.
And I don't know what the qualifiers are. So the guy with number 1 could have 6 attempts and they've all been to the first read. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But he shows some promising things. He's 5th in escape rate. So escaping sacks, escaping pressure. So he's evading pressure really well in the pocket. When the pocket's clean, he's got the 5th highest completion percentage. His red zone completion percentage has been good. He has struggled a bit to get the team to the red zone as of late. But again, when you're trusting Audric Estime, Evan Hull and Taysom Hill to be your running backs, like you're gonna be a bit of a struggle bus when you can't trust your backfield there. So there's promise to his game. I think he is kind of physically capped out, being that he's 26 years old, even as a rookie.
For sure.
But 2nd in red zone catchable rate, 8th in clean pocket catchable rate. Like the dude throws a catchable ball, and sometimes if you build the right offense around him, which I think Kellen Moore can, you just need a guy like this that can lead you up and down the field, and their defense will need to improve. That type of guy to win a Super Bowl, you have to have a near elite defense, and they have not been that this year. But I mean, there's promise here, and he's going to get 26 to prove it.
Yeah, and it would go against what I believe is Kellen Moore's philosophy. With him going after Shough, that tells me he wants a multi-year veteran in college football to lead his team. That's not Dante Moore. That is not Simpson either. Like those
Yep,
are not.
right.
So if either one of those guys comes out, and if they don't, like, is he really going to trust John Mateer as a bit more off script, kind of a ball thrower, a chucker, if you would, of the rock? Like, I don't know if he would. So yeah, I just think there are a lot of paths that lead to Shough being the Saints starter in 2025 or 2026. Maybe they bring in a veteran off free agency, like a Jacoby Brissett or something, which would be fine.
I was going to say, like, Shough with Flacco as the backup.
Yeah, that'd be fine too. Yeah. I'd be for it. Also, Tyler, to answer your next question here, Devonta Smith or Adam Thielen, not getting cute. Like, Adam Thielen's way too cute for this one, knowing even Metcalf could be suspended. I can't roll old man Thielen out in championship weekend. No way. No way.
Yeah. Same here. Plus, one thing to note, Arthur Smith is very much an offensive coordinator where guys play their role. The backup gets the role.
Yep.
And Adam Thielen is certainly not DK Metcalf's backup. They play very different styles of football. They're used in very different ways. I think the main change that we're going to see is we're going to see a lot more 3 tight end usage. We're going to see a lot more 2 running back sets. I don't think they're going to try and get too cute with the passing game. They're going to say, hey, it looks like we're a playoff team. We're sitting right there. Sounds like DK gets a couple weeks to get healthier for the playoffs for us.
Yeah, and you're previewing that Steelers-Browns game where your next burning question for Dynasty Fantasy Football managers the rest of the way comes in.
Yeah, where do we value Quinshon Judkins? With Dynasty being a multi-year game, where do we sit with a guy like Judkins, earn the starting opportunity right away? Once he got healthy, took over as of week 2, got the chance to prove he was the guy pretty quickly, had some great performances, had some solid performances, fell off, a bit as of late, but again, Shough has definitely thrown a wrench into what this offense looks like. And the real question is, with this injury, how do we value him going forward? Because he's a guy to me that I think it very clearly has the ceiling of a top 5 running back. But we have the injury concerns. We have the team concerns. What's this offense going to look like? Are they going to give Shough another year? Is Kevin Stefanski even still going to be around? He's one of the most favored coaches on call sheet to get cut right now. Like,
oh, wow.
Like he's one of the, I think, top 5 in terms of like most likely to be fired as of those markets right now. But when he's healthy, like, he gets a lot of the work. Even when he's off the field, it's not like he's really losing touches. He's losing blocking opportunities, which anybody who looked at Quinshon Judkins coming out of the class, you knew he wasn't the best pass blocker in the class. That was going to be a risk that you run into. He showed some receiving upside. He showed some rushing upside. Like, where do we value this guy?
It's really tough, right? Because I think Judkins was a guy I was a little bit lower on as a prospect, Jake, purely because one, I just thought he lacked a little bit of top end speed. We saw that kind of late in the CFP last year. That turned out to be a little bit of fugazi, and he ended up being a really speedy back at the NFL Combine, much to my chagrin. And I will say he came out this year and just looked dominant. And like, my issue with him has always been like, I don't think he's ever going to be like an elite pass catcher. So it reminds me a little bit more of like a little bit of a juiced up version in the pass catching realm of like a Derrick Henry, but maybe less explosiveness and, less of just an absolute beast there. But like, that's kind of how I profile him, is where he's going to have to make some magic happen in the red zone, whether it's passing the ball or just being used on some different wildcat gimmick plays that can really get him in. Right now, according to Keep Trade Cut, he is down right there at player 38 overall in between Bucky Irving and Christian McCaffrey, RB10 currently for Judkins. Like, that feels a little rich given this injury, to be honest with you, especially because we have some really, at least I would say 2 to 3 running backs who I'm actually really, really excited about in this 2026 class. Does RB10 sound about right to you from Dynasty lens?
I think it's very fair. I think that's the range, like that kind of 10 to 15 range is about where I'd have him. Knowing Bucky Irving is in front of him means I'm just going to go trade every Bucky Irving that I possibly can for Quinshon Judkins. I think Bucky Irving is getting exposed in a lot of ways. Obviously, he hasn't been healthy this year, but on expected yards per carry, he's underperforming that number very heavily. We'll put it that way. When Rachaad White has more expected yards or unexpected yards per carry than you, things aren't looking great.
Wow.
And it's not particularly close either. It's like a half yard a carry right now, which is substantial in that statistic. So I think Bucky's getting exposed in a lot of ways. Would I flip Bucky for Judkins? Absolutely. I do think 10 is probably a hair rich, but it's probably fair, especially just given how the dynasty market undervalues some of the veterans, like a Derrick Henry, like probably a Saquon is probably a little bit lower right now, like a Christian McCaffrey. The dynasty market being a bit ageist, 10 isn't too surprising.
Couple other names. Just give me one name or the other here. Chase Brown or Judkins?
Judkins. I'm not a Chase Brown guy at all.
Scatterboo?
Judkins.
See, I would rather have Scatterboo because he's a pass catching guy. Like, that's just how I feel. And like, I think he was more impressive when he was in there. Maybe that's just me. So
yeah, I don't know. It's certainly close. Scatterboo's play style brings a lot of concerns for me personally. I think I don't want to put injury prone out there. He hasn't been an injury prone guy. He's obviously hurt and missed the rest of this year on a bit of a fluky injury. I just don't trust his skill set to age as well as I trust Judkins.
What about Brees, who's only 2.5 years older than him?
Brees.
Okay.
I still believe in Brees.
Okay. So that's like where it can be flipped. And I think what's going to cause his dynasty value to shift over the last 2 weeks is like, if Dylan Sampson can get back and be really electric in these games, I think maybe Judkins lowers in rankings even more. Or Raheem Rocket Sanders, who ended up being drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers, got cut from the team, made his way to Cleveland, has been on and off this active roster pretty much all year. Let's see if he can get a little bit of run going as well. He split snaps last week, 20-20 with Travion Williams, who's got kind of just like a veteran pass catching back. He's not too bad on like an early thumper role as well, but been around for a while, never been super impressive. So these last couple weeks will tell us exactly how the dynasty community feels about Judkins, especially with a couple other running backs potentially rising up and falling down rankings. Let's go to question number 7. Will Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, be saved by the New York Giants losing out? So here's the scenario, folks. The New York Giants, if they lose out, that includes this week against the Raiders, the Giants would be in sole possession of the first overall pick with the Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza on the board. With them having Jackson Dart and Dart looking pretty decent at times this year, despite bad offensive line play, no Malik Neighbors, no Scatterboo for the back half of the season as well. I think that their play, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they make a blockbuster trade, right? They try to get out of that first.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way they pick, in my mind, there's no way they pick one
right
with if they end up there.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You're looking at like what the Bears did, like with Justin Fields. You give him the chance, you give Dart a full year with his weapons, you give him the opportunity, and you're going to get an absolute haul, especially if it's a team that's a little bit farther down. Like, I don't know, maybe the Saints love him and the Saints want to come up for him.
Well, I was thinking the Rams. The Rams have 2 first-round picks. I think it's going to be a bidding war between them and the New York Jets, which, like, I'm terrified of that, because I think if he goes to the Los Angeles Rams, if they can somehow, throw a player in and also throw their 2 first-round picks in, maybe next year's first-round pick as well in, I think he would be the auto 101 in rookie drafts going to Sean McVay's offense.
Yeah.
And as soon as he's startable in redrafts, or as soon as he is the starter for that team in redrafts, like, he's rosterable in fantasy too. Like absolutely. And for me, like, I really want to see this guy. He's mobile. He's 6'5", he's 225. So he's the perfect, size and perfect moxie, because he's a freaking weirdo too, like in the best way. Right. And like, those are the quarterbacks that usually, kind of who are all ball, no BS, all business type of guys. Led the nation in passing touchdowns, led IU to the Big Ten championship, #1 seed in the CFP. So I think though, like, if it gets rocky and he lands in Las Vegas, Cleveland, or the Jets, like, I got questions then, right? Because those organizations, they're always picking first because they can never get the quarterback right, Jake. So I know you're a Midwest guy to heart. So your thoughts on if the Giants can save Mendoza's career by actually losing out and trading that pick?
Yeah, I think that's probably, I don't want to say saving his career. He could come and turn one of these franchises around.
It'll be hard though.
Best case scenario for him is probably the Giants lose out and teams are, because if it becomes a bidding war, the Rams certainly are a team that's got to be in the conversation there, given Stafford's age, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. you've got him, you've got Pittsburgh, who could be in the market, knowing that.
Yeah, we're not trade. We have nothing to trade though. Like, you know what I mean? We can't get up there. I don't think. I don't see it almost
Miami. Like there's
that could be
there's
a good
teams
call.
that could sneak into this trade battle in ways that you wouldn't expect, and
it's true.
Especially with it being a team like the Giants that offensive line, when healthy, was pretty solid. They've got an elite wide receiver one in Malik Neighbors. They've got a solid running back room between Tyrone Tracy and
arguably one of the best on paper. At least hasn't played like it, but their defensive front should be one of the best in the league.
Right? Yeah. Like this is a team that's probably a lot closer than a lot of people want to admit. And if they get in get the opportunity to get that first pick, trade for a haul, get an elite corner in the trade package, or get a couple pieces and picks, like it could sneakily turn them into, much like the Bears right now. We were dead last in the division last year, have already clinched our playoff spot. Like we could be talking about the Giants in the playoffs next year if this were to happen.
And it would just mean so much, I think, for Fernando's dynasty value. I think he becomes 100%. That 101 and rookie superflex draft. So, Jake, let's go to your next burning question. Staying with the Rams, what are your thoughts out there on the West Coast?
Yeah, I mean, is anybody better than Puka Nacua at the game of football? I don't think that currently there is. Like, this is a guy who I was hammering the table this past offseason. I was like, Puka's probably wide receiver one. And people thought I was crazy. There was the talk of Stafford retiring. There's injury concerns. Like, sure, whatever. He missed the game. He's fine. He doesn't believe in concussions. He's not coming out of the game anyway. Like, this guy's sitting at 23.8 fantasy points per game. He's got 114 receptions for nearly 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. And this is with another receiver there in Devontae Adams, who's absolutely hogging the red zone targets and has been an absolute demon down there. He's number 1 in football in target rate, 5th in target share, 2nd in targets, while running 75% of routes, 56th in the league amongst wide receivers. Like, if this dude is on the field, he is open, he is getting receptions, and he is turning it into fantasy points. And I don't know if anybody can do anything at this point to convince me that Puka shouldn't be the wide receiver one next year.
Yeah, I think he's definitely in the conversation for it. Obviously, he's going to battle not only from a 2026 lens, but also from a dynasty perspective. It's like Jamar Chase, it's JSN, and it's Puka kind of in that top tier now. CeeDee's kind of fallen a little bit behind, especially even on keep trade cut guys like Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And of course, Justin Jefferson's fallen pretty good too, with kind of the uncertainty at the Vikings quarterback position. So I think, like, for Puka, it's going to be really like, who do you prefer out of Chase, JSN, and him? And, you have the question marks about the quarterback situation in the future. So, like, for me, I know Sam Darnold's going to be around for a couple years. I at least think, unless he goes, Andrew Luck on us, Joe Burrow will be around as well. So I think I would actually probably rather take those other guys from a safety standpoint. Puka's has battled a little bit more injuries too, but it's going to be hard to say Puka isn't the wide receiver one, Jake, after playing the Falcons and the Cardinals, two teams who have, essentially the Falcons showed a lot of fight the last couple of weeks, but the Cardinals are really mailing it in here. They're not bringing a lot of these guys back that were banged up. And I just think he's going to have a monster end of this season in the regular season, 17-18. That's not even including what we're going to see in the postseason as well, with the Rams looking to make an electric run to the Lombardi.
Yeah, it's Puka Nacua, and then it's everybody else for me right now. I understand all of those concerns. I just can't ignore what this man does when he is healthy. He has one finish outside of the top 23 wide receivers in PPR this year, and that was the week he got hurt. He has more top 5 finishes than he has finishes outside of the top 6. Like, the dude is just an animal, and he just dropped 46.5 points. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm there with you. For my next burning question for Dynasty Fantasy Football Leagues going down the stretch, it's how much will Wan'Dale Robinson of the New York Giants command on the open market? This has been quietly a breakout season for Robinson, who came out of Kentucky a couple years ago, really only seen as a slot option, but he's been playing the X. He's been playing flanker. He's been playing the slot still. 8th in targets with 126, 9th in receptions with 81. He's on track to go over 1,000 yards. And this is Jake with a rookie quarterback and Jameis Winston and a little bit of Russell Wilson in the beginning, right? He's been a top 20 fantasy wide receiver, and he was drafted well outside the top 200. And he might be, if you look at it, the free agent board for UFAs, it is not good right here for 2026. Like, it is Mike Evans, who I still think if he plays, he is going back to Tampa Bay. Like,
Agreed.
he's
going to retire there. I don't imagine him going elsewhere.
So, like, for me, it's like, I think Wan'Dale is going to get an absolute bag here unless the Giants like decide to franchise tag him. So, like, let's see what he does against the Cowboys here in 2 weeks. And then also, again, Las Vegas Raiders. Like, that's two good matchups to finish it off. So, like, I think he could be one of the steals of the offseason. If you happen to trade something for Wan'Dale Robinson, like, he could have been a throw-in before the 2025 season. And he could legitimately have top 25, top 36 at least dynasty wide receiver value going into next season. So I'm really excited to see how much can he do down the stretch here. Can he get to that 1,000 yards mark? Does he smash it? And what's he going to get out there on the open market? Because I think it's going to be a bag, man. I think it's going to be a bag.
Yeah. I think we're looking at probably like pretty similar money to what Christian Kirk got, which shocked everybody when that contract came through. I want to say it was like 4 years, 72 million, something in that range.
And that was what, 3 years ago at this point. So
right.
Like inflation, baby, it's going up.
Exactly. But like you said, I mean, he's run 100% of the routes this year. He leads football in slot snaps, but he's also clearly playing enough outside of the slot as well, given that's leading the NFL in slot snaps, and that's still only 57.3% of his snaps are in the slot. Like, this is a guy that you can line up everywhere. He can be an absolute yak monster. He's a demon with the ball in his hands, 7th highest juke rate in all of football. Like, you can get creative with a guy like this, get him in a better offensive scheme, get him in a Miami as like a pseudo Tyreek Hill replacement vibe. Like, obviously not comparing him to Tyreek Hill, but like get him in that type of role where they create touches for him. Sneaky upside out of Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, I guess I should mention too, George Pickens could be a free agent, but I guess I was just under the assumption that the Cowboys will re-sign him. Just
1,000%.
He just feels like a Cowboy. He's had such a great season, so that guy will really have to back up the bring trucks for him. But Wan'Dale, if him and Evans are off the market going into March, Wan'Dale is going to get a hefty payday, and I think dynasty managers can also get that in trade. Jake, let's go to your number 4 burning question heading into the last 2 weeks of the NFL season.
Yeah, what does the end of this year look like for CeeDee Lamb, and where does it put him in dynasty rankings moving forward? I mean, it's been a down year by all accounts for CeeDee, sitting at 10th in points per game, still a wide receiver 1, still 15.8 points per game, still solid production, but it's very clear that George Pickens coming into this offense had a bigger impact than I think almost all of us imagined on CeeDee's target share. I think a lot of that is George Pickens has developed a ton, surprisingly, given how little he seems to care at times. As a wide receiver, his route running ability, his hands, everything seems a lot higher caliber this year. Yeah. And when you see a guy like a CeeDee Lamb, who's coming from last year being, top 10 in target share, top 5 in target rate, to dropping down to, target rate's still solid at 9th in the league at 27%, but that target share is outside of the top 20, targets outside of the top 15, route participation's down. Like, is he still going to be viewed as this, there were talks of him when I was bringing up Puka. CeeDee was the guy that I gave the most pushback in should be ranked over Puka Nacua in 2025. Right now, that looks like the correct take by me, but how much of this emergence of a George Pickens type continues to make CeeDee fall? Like, is CeeDee going to get to a point where he's actually attainable for the first time in a couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's great matchups to round it out for whether it's him or Pickens who capitalize, Commanders and Giants. I think there will be a lot of players who are not willing to buy or really sell CeeDee, I think, right after the season ends, because we got to see what GP does, right? We got to see if Dallas adds any weapons in the draft as well. Like, I'm very, very curious to see. But, I mean, he's already right now fallen out of that top tier of wide receivers where he's behind Malik Neighbors. He's behind ARSB as well. Like, it's him and Justin Jefferson, kind of Drake London in that next tier of wide receivers where should he be there? Like, I don't think so. But at the same time, like, it is hard to discredit what we've seen this season, Jake, where You mentioned it, like GP had always been viewed as more of a, hey, contested catch type of guy, crazy catch radius, throw it up,
field
you'll
stretcher,
make
make a play.
And he has developed into a full-blown potential alpha wide receiver. Couldn't happen on the Steelers, of course, because we just don't do that. And of course, we trade a guy who throws temper tantrums just to get another guy who is going to be suspended for the final 2 games of the season. So it's great. It's awesome. We paid this guy 30-some million a year, but side tangent on that. But yes, so I'm with you. I'm excited to see what CeeDee can do. And I think these last 2 games will really impact his market value heading in to 2026. So.
For sure.
Okay, let's get to my next burning question. And it's, can Chase Brown earn a contract extension? Very, very slow start to the season for Brown, but he is now up to RB10 on the entire season, averaging 18.5 PPR points per game since Joe Flacco came under center in week 6 and then was replaced with a healthy Joe Burrow. The Bengals, they have to make some decisions here, right? Because their offensive line absolutely stinks. Their defense absolutely stinks even worse, I would say. And Brown, he's making just over $1 million. And he is now going back-to-back seasons over 1,300 yards. There's no way he's going to play on that next year. No way. Like, he is at least going, whether it's like the Austin Eckler, hey, we're going to give you a little bit of extra money, there's some incentives tied in, or if it's like a full-blown James Cook, like, I ain't touching the freaking field, man, because James Cook was at least a day 2 pick in that draft. Right. Chase Brown, this was a day 3 guy. He's been making nothing out there. I mean, still a lot of money for all of us, but by NFL standards, right? Yep. And like, for me, I'm excited to see what he can do in these 2 great matchups for the Bengals down the stretch. They got Pittsburgh and they got the Browns to end things out here. So I am curious to see if they will, like, if he'll force their hand in the offseason. Because, like, to me, if he stays with the Bengals long-term with Burrow and Chase still there, he's a top 12 dynasty running back easily for me. I just don't know if that happens, but I think it's coming to a headway very soon. And I think he can change, or at least continue to push the narrative that he deserves an extension in these next 2 games.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to take one of those incentive-laden contracts, like an Austin Eckler, who I think is a very good comparable skill set-wise for Chase Brown. I think they both offer, they're solid rushers, not superstars on the ground by any means, but what they can really help a team with is what they can offer in the passing game. And I think he's going to have to take one of those incentive-laden deals. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to be willing to invest super big money in him. I don't think he's going to get a DeAndre Swift contract. I certainly don't think he's going to get a Saquon. I don't think he's going to be pushing that $10 to $12 million range without it being super incentive heavy. I think, like you said, this team just has too many problems, too many issues that they need to correct. And they already have a ton of money tied up between Burrow, Chase, T. Higgins. Like, they've got so much money tied into those 3, and Trey Hendrickson, who's, I think he's basically 6 feet out the door already. They're going to have to wrangle him back in if they want to, want something there. I just don't know if the money's going to be there for him to get paid.
Yeah, and right now he is player overall and keep trade cut rankings 70, RB 18 in their dynasty rankings as well. And Jake, I would say that, like, let's just play like the ifs and buts and candy and nuts game since it's Christmas, right? If he gets paid, Chase Brown or Christian McCaffrey, dynasty.
Team dependent.
Chase Brown's 20, not even 26.
Yeah, I think
he's almost 30.
I think it's team dependent. Like, if I'm in an all-in build and you want Chase Brown to give me CMC, I'm probably going to take the shot on CMC one more time, but it should be Chase Brown, just given the age.
Kyron?
I'll take Kyron. I'm a Kyron guy.
Josh Jacobs?
Probably Brown, but pretty similar.
RJ Harvey?
I'll take Brown. I'm still, I need to see a lot more out of RJ Harvey.
Okay. All right. Well, great discussion there. And, I've been a Chase Brown guy since his day of Champaign, right? And I'm surprised you're not. Like, you're a Midwest guy, right? Like, come on, buddy.
It's one of those things where I love it. When we got all the hype this offseason of people talking about him as a top 6 running back in Dynasty, it burnt me out on him.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I was on him when I was taking him in the 3rd or 4th round of rookie drafts back in the day. So,
yeah. Love that price. Don't like you wanting to first for me to buy Chase Brown. I'll go buy James Cook, who I also don't love, but he's proven me wrong.
Jake, we've talked a lot about the Rams tonight, and that's where your final burning question of the evening comes. What are you excited to learn and evaluate over the past next 2 weeks of the season?
Is Stafford's production this year sustainable? Is it tied to this being his last hurrah? Like some people are speculating that he's going to go out with a blaze of glory, nearly 50 touchdowns. Is
crazy.
37-year-old, almost 38-year-old in the NFL.
Insane.
And if he doesn't retire, like how much longer do we trust some level of production out of him? Like this is the best fantasy season he's had since 2019. This is only the second quarterback one season he's had since 2019.
Wow.
Like 2021, he was quarterback 11, and then this year quarterback 3 thus far. But over the last 3 years, quarterback 26, quarterback 14, and quarterback 28. Like, is this production sustainable? And if it is sustainable and he sticks around for a couple more years, like where does that put him in value wise? Do we use him as like our buy now, ride until the day he dies on our roster type player? Or is he a guy that you're going to try and flip for whatever you can get and pray that you got out too early rather than a bit too late?
Yeah. And that's always the question, right? There's the same question we've been having lately. I mean, sometimes you get these aliens like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Derrick Henry that just keep on producing and the age does not matter. Yep. But for a lot of these guys, the age does matter, right? And it's like a guy like Philip Rivers who took a spot on the couch for a couple of years and, hey, we'll see you in 5, right? And, and then you have the opposite side of the spectrum. You have the Andrew Lucks who hang it up too early. So it's always just kind of trying to figure out when is the right time to get out and not. I mean, wow, can you imagine if you had Andrew Luck back in the day and he retired in Dynasty? Oh, my goodness.
I can imagine it.
Oh, no. Was it Superflex?
It was.
Oh, geez. That was even before like the Superflex storm of 2020 too. So, yep. Wow. Yeah. I'm really excited. It's the Falcons and the Cardinals, which should set them up for a dynamic run. Who's your NFL MVP? Is it Stafford?
Right now it's Stafford. And I don't think there's really a conversation for anybody else.
Yeah, minus 215 right now. So he's definitely the heavy favorite. I think if Drake May won that Buffalo game, I think there was a more conversation to be had. But yeah, it's pretty much those two right now. Next closest is Josh Allen, 25-1. So it's really a 2-horse race between May and Stafford, but you're saying Stafford. So you would drink that juice then? You'd be confident to lay that down?
Yeah, at 215, I still feel comfortable there. Once it starts to push that like 300 plus range, I'm probably going to sit out.
Yeah.
But, at that money, I just, unless Myles Garrett breaks the sack record by like 10 and he gets 10 sacks in the next 2 weeks, or Drake May somehow scores another 12 touchdowns on his own, I don't think it's a 2-horse race right now. I think it's Stafford's race to lose.
Well, we'll talk about it here. We're going to have an all betting show coming up for a futures market going into the playoffs. I mean, you could parlay Stafford right now with like a CMC comeback player of the year who's at minus 300 and get close to even money on that. So that's something I did last year with I think it was Burrow on comeback player of the year, and it was a Josh Allen MVP, which was much more of a sweater than I wanted to because Lamar got a lot of late steam there.
Right.
But yeah, so definitely, still a way to get, I think, invested in that, pair it with a bowl game, something like that too.
For sure.
Jake, last burning question of the evening coming from myself. How high will Harold Fannin Jr., the talented rookie tight end, rise in rankings with the Cleveland Browns? This is a guy I loved out of Bowling Green, right? I could not believe that he was just being discounted and, kind of thrown away from, and because it's the MAC, right? And a lot of people don't have respect for the MAC. I know you're a Midwestern guy. I've said that about 5 times on the show, but I'm also a Midwestern MAC fan. I mean, I love Tuesdays, Wednesday nights when we get into the college football season. I think actually Ohio's playing right now. I actually faded them tonight, but that was, a lot of reasons, a lot of things going on in that program right now with Brian Smith being dismissed as the head coach. But love Fannin coming out. And now, I just didn't expect him to have this big of a season though, right? 105 targets, 70 receptions, 5 receiving touchdowns, plus a rushing score, leading the Browns in all those receiving metrics. And tight end 6 overall in the season, 11.7 points per game. He's now above Tyler Warren for the year. That's where we've gotten to. Tight end 4 since Sanders took over as well. He is the tight end 6 on Keep Trade Cut, 67 overall as well. That's in Superflex formats, guys. So that's over some players like Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts. Will we see him even jump maybe players like Colston Loveland, who's 61 overall, Tucker Kraft, who's 57 overall by the end of the season? He's got 2 great matchups coming up, Jake.
Yep.
He has the Steelers this week and the Bengals. And yes, this guy is only 21 years old. He can only now just drink.
Yeah, he's having his first sips of champagne as he's getting ready to put up one of the greatest rookie tight end seasons that we've ever seen. And people might think that I'm saying that with hyperbole, right? It's like him, Jeremy Shockey, Kyle Pitts, Bowers in terms of
Warren was on pace to do that before, all the shenanigans with the Colts too.
Right. Like we're seeing a resurgence of this position. If you look over the, let me find the tweet again, over the last 35 years, here's the list of rookie tight ends with 70 receptions, 700 yards, and 5 touchdowns or more.
Okay, let's go.
Sam Laporta, Brock Bowers, Harold Fannin Jr.
Wow.
Over the last 35 years.
And we have
since
2 games
1990.
left. And we have 2 games left.
2 games left. There is a non-zero chance when you look at where he's sitting. He's sitting at 70 receptions, 701 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's probably going to pass Jeremy Shockey. He's going to get close to Keith Jackson and Sam Laporta in terms of rookie receptions for a tight end. When it comes to the touchdown side of things, his 5 touchdowns is already on the list of like the top 10 fantasy point seasons from a rookie. His 5 touchdowns is tied for 3rd all time. Like we're talking about a guy who may legitimately have the 3rd or 4th best rookie tight end season of all time based on fantasy production. Mm-hmm. And this is a guy you said, like you said, was discounted heavily, wasn't as fast, wasn't as big as we all wanted him to be. Mm-hmm. But I was all in on him. I still said he was, fringe tight end 1 for me going into rookie drafts this past offseason. And it's amazing to see where he sits. I think he's going to end the season probably tight end 4 or 5 in Dynasty, which is where he belongs. He should be ahead of Kraft. He should be ahead of Loveland. Like you can't discount this level of target earning from a guy this young.
And he belongs a seat at the table in my mind at the NFL awards banquet for a offensive rookie of the year finalist, because I thought a couple weeks ago, Tyler Warren could have been there. I have a 6-1 ticket on him. That has aged poorly. Is now Tedder McMillan in that market who has ran away with things. Yep. But I think he definitely deserves a spot at that table. He won't get it because he's a tight end out of the MAC. Plays for the Cleveland Browns, but he definitely deserves it and deserves a look these last couple of weeks as we come down the stretch. Jake, thank you so much for all the amazing analysts and analysis tonight. We really, really appreciate it. That is going to do it for us on this episode of the In Between Fantasy Football Podcast. If you've rode along with us this long, please do us a quick favor. Go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. We would really appreciate that. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. We've got NFL, fantasy football, and betting coverage, college football betting, NASCAR betting, PGA betting right around the corner with Jake, and some entertainment betting, all to help you cash more and to enjoy the ride along the way. Also, be sure to check out the website, in-betweenmedia.com, for some dope written content, and join the Discord for free. We have a lot of fun stuff happening over there, including the postseason PropDecks contest. That is in-betweenmedia.com/chat. For my friend Jake Perry, I'm Seth Woolcock. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, everybody, and keep it in between. Until next time.